High on Canada's Pacific coast lies a land half forest, half water. Yet here on the edge of the wilderness, a modern city thrives, the hub of the northwest coast. Some people say it never stops raining in Prince Rupert. The sun never stops shining. With a group of people on an island and a canopy of clouds overhead, something wonderful happens. A fitful sun above seems to generate human warmth below. Sure, it rains in Prince Rupert, but no amount of cloud can cut off that human kind, that special kind of sunshine. This is a timeless land, rough and remote. Tribal homeland of Tsimshian and Haida Indians who fished and fought around the islands and inlets for centuries before the white man came. But at the turn of the century, this rugged coastal wilderness cradled man's dream of empire. In 1906, a small working party sailed into Tuck's Inlet and landed supplies on the shore of K.N. Island, a few miles south of the Alaskan Panhandle. They had come to build a city. Within a few months, they had cleared the rain-soaked bush and laid out a street plan. The Grand Trunk Pacific Railway was already forging west through the mainland mountains. The new city aimed to become Canada's gateway to the Orient. In their imagination, those early builders saw a city of 50,000 people, at first rivaling, then surpassing the importance of Vancouver to the south. They saw freighters of the world riding at anchor in the harbor and pictured carloads of cargo rattling along the railroad. The vision of those northern pioneers was characteristically vivid. Today, their vision, the city of Prince Rupert, lives on, a metropolis in the making, on the edge of the wilderness. As cities go, Prince Rupert is no New York or Paris, but it has banks, shops, and service industries. In fact, all the amenities you'd expect to find in a big city. The downtown shopping area has been revitalized in recent years and now caters to the community with a variety of supermarkets, specialty shops, and convenience stores. Public transportation serves both city and suburbs. Shopping is a pleasure in the enclosed, air-conditioned malls. The large department stores in business here make Prince Rupert the major shopping center of the Northwest. Water, in one form or another, influences the lives of everyone in Prince Rupert. The salt chuck supports the fishermen. Prince Rupert's waterfront is home to more than 600 commercial boats. Nearly 2,000 fishermen sail in them each year. Some of them have ancestral roots in Norway and Sweden, Finland and Iceland. Others are descended from the natives who fished these abundant coastal waters in centuries past. Fishing is a way of life and a year-round occupation here. It's a reasonably stable and well-established form of livelihood. In general, fishermen own and operate their own vessels. The fishing industry also supports several smaller industries, which supply and service the fleet. When not at sea, fishermen spend long hours overhauling their boats, nets, and gear in preparation for the voyage to come. Gill netter and troller, longliner and purse seiner must be shipshape and seaworthy if they're to safely harvest the sea in all her moods. In fair weather and foul, the fleet sets course for Hecate Strait in the North Pacific, ranging far into the Gulf of Alaska and the Bering Sea. Technology has tempered the traditional ways of catching fish, but a man still puts a net down and baits a hook. It's a tough life at sea, but like living in the north, it has its rewards. The salmon fishery is by far the most important to Prince Rupert, but herring, halibut, groundfish, and shellfish all play a part in the success of the area's fishery. Smaller boats unload their catch at sea into the holds of larger packer boats, which speed the freshly caught fish back to dockside and the processing plants nearby. Prince Rupert is the foremost fish landing port in the North Coast District, and the catch landed each year is monumental. Several canneries, employing over 1,000 people between them, process the fish. Just like the local fishermen, salmon leave the coastal waters of British Columbia, ranging the cold northern seas in search of food. And tens of millions of pounds get a free ride back to Prince Rupert each year. Some of the fish is sold fresh from the ocean, while others are filleted and frozen. Some species, such as salmon, are also smoked or canned. With the increasing sophistication of the fishing industry and the expansion of new freezing technology, more and more people around the world will be enjoying salmon and other seafood caught and processed here. Prince Rupert is often called the halibut capital of the world. Upwards of 30 million pounds of the giant flatfish are hauled from the bed of the ocean each year. Halibut ranks high as a valuable Canadian food fish. The market value of the West Coast fishery amounts to more than $10 million annually. In the cold waters of the North Pacific, halibut grow huge. Some mature females can weigh as much as 400 pounds. There's a lot of steaks on a halibut that big. Many of the cannery workers are native Indians from interior and coastal villages. They help make the city and the fishing industry prosper. A new cannery also looks to a prosperous future. The government's salmon enhancement program and the 200-mile fishing limit all but guarantee the industry's future. Water and Prince Rupert just seem to belong together. And for most of the logs harvested in the nearby forests, the sea is the freeway to the pulp mill. Prince Rupert has been a production center for wood pulp for over a quarter century. This new multi-million-dollar complex converts the large northwest conifers to kraft pulp. Bleached kraft pulp, made from wood chips, is the raw material that is used to make paper products of all kinds, everything from shopping bags to disposable diapers. These bright white sheets of pulp are in demand the world over. Paper is an essential part of our modern society. We all use it every day in one way or another. Over 1,200 tons of kraft pulp are produced and packaged here each day, most of it for export. The mill has its own all-season deep-water dock, capable of handling large tonnage freighters. They call regularly to take on cargoes of kraft from one of the province's most modern mills. To keep up with international demand, ocean-going ships like this fill their holds with up to 22,000 tons of pulp each voyage. When it comes to the art and science of pulp making, Prince Rupert people have the know-how. Over 1,000 people earn their living from the mill. It's the city's largest payroll. In Prince Rupert, workers often earn more than their counterparts down south, and they enjoy the opportunities to spend it in the friendliest city in British Columbia. The city's harbor and port facilities are just a stone's throw from downtown Prince Rupert. The port is Canada's westernmost ocean outlet, 500 miles closer to the Orient than Vancouver. That means a saving of 2 days sailing time on a round trip. It's a natural, deep-water harbor, sheltered, ice-free the year round, with good access by road and rail to the interior. It is fast becoming a major world seaport, well equipped to handle commodities and general and bulk cargo of all types. Freight barges hauling a variety of goods call regularly at Prince Rupert on their trips to and from the surrounding coastal villages and Vancouver, 477 sea miles to the south. Despite our geographic isolation, we can still have everything we need to live the good life in the north. Waterfront grain elevators holding millions of bushels help keep grain on the move to Asian countries. Prince Rupert has one of the shortest rail routes to tidewater from the major prairie grain-producing areas. That's a distinct economic advantage for shippers. Fairview Terminal, a cargo interchange and distribution facility near the harbor mouth, handles all types of vessels. It covers 42 acres, with another 25 acres earmarked for expansion. Yellowhead Center houses a variety of light industries, has easy access to the highway, the harbor, and the main line railway. There's more land for industrial expansion just 3 miles from the city. In Prince Rupert Industrial Park, 797 acres are under development. Even aircraft take to the water on the northwest coast. Planes are a vital link of communication where roads don't reach. Float planes keep busy around the calendar, ferrying everything from men to machinery. Sometimes the pilot's cargo is as awesome as the terrain he flies over. A safe and reliable air service between the city and isolated camps and communities keeps the modern North humming. Prince Rupert may be a frontier city, but it's linked to the populous commercial and industrial centers of the South by daily jet service. Vancouver is within commuting distance, only 1 hour's flying time away. Commercial airlines are a convenient means of business travel to and from the city. Alaska is only 35 miles away. We're good neighbors, joined by a marine highway. Both the Alaska State Ferry and the British Columbia Ferry call regularly at Prince Rupert. The railway helped build Prince Rupert, and today the city is still the western terminus of a transcontinental national railroad. A half-century ago, the trains carried the dreams of pioneers. Now they bring visitors by the thousands. Tourism is big business here. Cruise ships flying the flags of many nations sail the fabled Inside Passage to Prince Rupert. They bring visitors who've made a special point of including the city in their holiday plans. Rain or shine, they always get a friendly welcome ashore. No matter where you're from, you'll find Prince Rupert just a little out of the ordinary. The streets are neat and clean. No bumper-to-bumper freeway traffic, no overcrowded downtown core. But it does offer a wide selection of comfortable hotels and motels. And everywhere you go, that special kind of sunshine seems to glow all round. In the outlying residential areas, charming homes of the past rub shoulders with the present, bringing a sense of history to a city that has grown up in the span of a single lifetime. New home construction in pleasant suburban neighborhoods keeps pace with the fast-growing community. But in spite of the growth, there's no noisy clutter, no big city pressures. Here, there's room enough for children to thrive and for families to live the life they've always wished for. The usual municipal services and all the benefits of modern city living are available in Prince Rupert. The city of Prince Rupert has provided a new ultra-modern public safety building, the detachment office for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who are responsible for the area's city, rural, and federal policing. Although the working uniform of this efficient and modern force has changed over the years, their scarlet tunics are still worn at ceremonial functions. A fully accredited modern hospital, a comprehensive education system extending from kindergarten through to regional college, and just about everything else a self-sufficient community could ask for, including a rich and colorful native heritage. Some of the largest totem poles ever carved were fashioned on Canada's northwest coast. Here, the art of the wood carver was unsurpassed. Many fine examples of cedar and argillite carvings are preserved in the city's art gallery and museum. Many of the stories the old totems tell are lost in myth and mystery, but the skill of the master craftsman lives on, a talent unique among the world's native peoples. Highway 16, the Yellowhead route, stretches inland from Prince Rupert along the Skeena River Valley. Skeena means river of mists in the Indian tongue. Here, where the city ends, the wilderness begins. Many of the lakes haven't been fished for years. The same high country is the domain of moose and grizzly bear, caribou, goat, and migratory game birds. Coast deer range through the woods all around Prince Rupert. Campsites and trailer parks abound along the Yellowhead route. Each year, campers from all over North America realize the romance of a rugged Northwoods holiday. You're never far from water in Prince Rupert. It surrounds the city and dominates the lifestyle. Water sports become second nature here. Many families own a boat instead of a second car and belong to the local yacht club. On this spectacular coast, there's something for every sailor. On warm summer evenings, there's nothing better than a barbecue on the beach with a group of good neighbors. A quiet, secluded spot is easy to find along the miles of island shoreline. But when a salmon bake is on, it's the more the merrier. There was a time when you couldn't play a round of golf here. So the golfers took up axes and chainsaws and built themselves an 18-hole course and a clubhouse. That's often the way things are done in Prince Rupert. Recreational facilities, some donated by local service organizations like the Rotary Club, provide a choice of outdoor activities. Everybody gets involved and becomes part of the fun. Enjoying yourself is almost a full-time occupation here. People seem to find so much more to do than just sitting around watching television. Not that we haven't got television. In Prince Rupert, we enjoy the outdoor life in a magnificent natural setting that's truly as pretty as a picture. If it rains, as it sometimes does in Prince Rupert, the activities continue indoors. Spectator, cheerleader, or player, the choice is yours. The city has facilities for all forms of recreation to accommodate the more than 300 clubs active in the area. A full-size swimming pool is open year-round. And there's seasonal sports, too, like curling and ice hockey. It's as easy to throw a curling rock as it is to throw clay on a potter's wheel. Children in Prince Rupert have the opportunity to learn more than the 3 R's. Dance and other performing arts play a big part in the city's cultural life. People here seem to have a capacity for laughter and an enthusiasm for enjoyment that's hard to beat. After dark, the bright lights of the city flash a welcome downtown. We've got the best of both worlds here, frontier informality and the sophistication of the big city. First-class hotels and restaurants offer fine food and drink for an evening of quiet relaxation or a lively night of entertainment. Of course, the sun shines in Prince Rupert, and we do get a lot of rain, as much as 95 inches some years. Yet, somehow it brings everybody closer together. It's a city where neighbors become good friends and folks help each other. A city where people come for a visit and stay for a lifetime. Up here, high on Canada's Pacific coast, set apart from the world but drawn to each other, we've found a very special kind of sunshine.